Good evening and welcome to the Weekend Stakes Preview Show. I'm Scotty McKeever and my partner Oldie and Chris is with us producing tonight, and we've got some of the biggest stakes races over the weekend that we are covering. And I don't know if we just got disconnected or not.
You're still working.
All right. All right. So Oldie, I haven't had a chance to look at this yet, but I'm actually excited to do this. And I know that you looked at these races, correct?
Yeah, and one of my favorite stretch run horse is running on Saturday at Woodbine. So I'll have some different type of race comments for that horse than I will for the rest of these races.
All right, we've got races for tomorrow. We've got races for, especially on Saturday, a lot on Saturday. Del Mar, Woodbine, Gulfstream Park, Saratoga, and then a couple of races at Saratoga on Sunday. So let's get right to it. You can see on the screen. What's up, guys? What's up, John, Van? How are you, Doug? We've got Del Mar, and we've got the CTT and the TOC stakes, fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and upward. The field looks pretty tough for a non-graded stakes race. SOR of 66, and we can it's an 11 furlong race. If we run the race, let's start and play. Here we go. And it looks like the 2 is going to have a clear lead. 40% to win, even money. Linda's Gift. EquinEdge's second pick, though, a horse that's dropping big in GSR, which isn't a good sign to me, is the top pick in Sunset Glory. What did you think of the one horse Sunset Glory?
I tossed it completely. It was not amongst the 3 horses that I thought had a chance to win this race.
Yeah, and okay, fourth call, the 2 horse continuing to maintain the lead. And here comes the 1 late. You know, the race simulator is just a tool. It's a guide. You know, it guides you through the races so you can kind of see how this might play out. But you still have to look at the metrics. And when I look at the 1 horse, I mean, this horse looks really, really good. I mean, nice form. It won 2 races back. It went through a condition optional claiming a 40. It gets tougher here, though, and the GSR drops. These don't usually do as well. The horse fits here. Look, this horse has done good since the layoff. I mean, this horse hadn't run since 2022. But I think that I would pass on this horse. And Linda's Gift, this horse has won 6 races and 15 tries, Oldie.
Yeah, no, this horse is rightfully 1-1 on the morning line and 4-5 on the morning line. But I do think they're, you know, if it wasn't for the pace advantage, I would think that there's other horses here that have a shot in the 4 and the 8. So, you know, the 8 has a win at 12 furlongs, a win at 10 furlongs, has won one of these non-graded stakes races, but was an easier group. Gets Mike Smith there. And then the 4 for McCarthy just missed in that same 12 furlong race. Might sit a trip right behind the 2. I think this is the closest to other speed there is in this race.
Chuck them out. Chuck them all out. You're not beating Linda's Gift. This horse is an absolute beast. 6 wins and 15 tries. But I want to show you something. I mean, you're talking about a horse that lost in the game league, grade 1, and the GSR dropped 12 points. Almost impossible to do. Look at every time this horse goes 10 furlongs, 10 furlongs, 11 furlongs, 12 furlongs, undefeated. Look at the GSR, 80, 80, 82, 82. Then this horse goes in the game league, 9 furlongs. I mean, that Mandela puts this horse in the game league. He thinks highly of this horse. And the GSR dropped. It just wasn't ideal. The SOR went up. The win percentage went down, of course. And the horse is 40% to win. Linda's Gift is gone. History. This is a single, in my opinion.
The only thing that would be better here is if Linda's Gift was running at Saratoga.
Yeah.
And was claimed by Linda.
Yes, Matt Miller with a great hit at the late double there at Del Mar.
That horse was 63% to win in the last race at Del Mar, wasn't it?
Yeah, and you look at that 5-2 over 2-5, getting 6-1 on the double.
That's insane.
Very juicy.
Yeah, that's insane. How are you, Matt? I'm
We
glad.
talked about 3 squares.
I'm glad you're enjoying. I think that Matt gets it and understands like this is a tool, and the metrics are tools. And so for those that are new, understand that like if you calculate the pace, and I was showing this on the class. Join our coaching classes, by the way. Chris, you have one, right? You have one coming up tomorrow.
I've got one coming up tomorrow night. We will be talking all about Remington Park's opening night card tomorrow. Fingers crossed everything goes well. We'll be going on live late tomorrow night around 10:15 Eastern for the late power, primetime power pick 4.
Nice.
But save the clock tower. In a cold 2-8, yes, you could think about that for sure if you're looking for exactas, but the 2 Lindis gift should run them off their heels.
Well, and look at the pace advantage. Give me a break. The pace advantage for the 2 is monstrous. Like it's just an 80. The next closest is 45 with the 6 horse. And so it's look, remember guys how long it took to read a past performances and how long it would take to do that. Now we just sit there and look at the best pace number in horse racing. And then we look at the first call, which is even more accurate than the pace number. And you can see the 2 is going to have an easy lead. How are you going to catch a horse that's undefeated, big buyers, likes to win? I don't know how you catch that horse. Mandela off the layoff, 13%. This should be an easy spot for this horse, honestly. I mean, considering how this horse ran in a grade 1 gamely, this should be an easy spot.
Agreed.
Yeah, and Matt's not wrong here. We will get a show up at some point in time where we get different people, different walks of life, talk about how they use the system. So you get a myriad different approaches on how to use it and cash.
Yeah. All right. So I think we're pretty much in agreement there. What's up, Mike? Mike Saletta in the house. Let's go to Saratoga race number 2. Well,
Saratoga race 2. Okay.
Race 2. Okay. Saratoga race number 2. And this is a 2-year-old's $150,000 Skidmore Stakes.
Yep.
And let's run this race. Oldie, while this race is running, what were your thoughts in this race?
So I thought you could toss the Ward horse, big GSR drop, the 6, who's 9-5. So, that helps you a bit. I do wonder whether this could break down a little bit, and somebody like the 4 or the 5 might show some late pace and pick this up. And I like even though the 2 won kind of near the lead, breaking its maiden, I kind of think that horse might be able to rate a little bit. The 3 Governor Sam has also shown the ability to rate. So it's just going to be a matter of, how fast do these horses try to go? And if that's the case, somebody like the 4 for the red hot Mark Cassie pick up the pieces here. But I think the 3 is a solid favorite.
All right, and when you see the GSRs, you get the 6 horses. It doesn't look like it's going to do well. Now I understand that Wesley Ward does well on turf, and the horse has been training on the turf, and it looks like training very good. In fact, but we just very rarely see horses with low GSRs win. You just don't see it. And
especially not in races like this.
Yeah. And
3 has already beaten better or similar to this group and has done it from on the pace and off the pace. Is tactical, has a huge GSR of 91. So very, very well bred. And, I think that this horse is pretty legit as a favorite. I'm hoping, though, that the money goes on the Ward horse.
Most likely will go. You got 6-5 on this on the 3 horse, 27% to win, 91 GSR. The GSR goes way up.
Yeah.
Right. So the horse is really improving, and that's raising the GSRs a lot. So maybe the horse is this good. What's up, Greg? Hi, Ron. This horse just broke its maiden. Although I like this horse, and it's 24%, no doubt about it. And the GSR goes way up. These horses very rarely that break their maidens come back to be winners. So I'd like to take a horse more like this horse who won first time out. So I would take a horse like the 3. But look you've got a wall of them right at the finish.
Yep.
It's an interesting race. And when you look at the 5 horse Spiralizer, it looks like this horse is going to be better on the dirt, better served on the dirt. So I probably would, for me, I would pass on this horse.
And I think Classic Time is that way too. But I do think that Classic Time could get the trip here. I mean, if you look from a pace perspective here, if Classic Time can close into or sit off this, that this horse did win by almost 4 lengths.
Yeah.
Coming from slightly off the pace last time. Let's call it stalking. So the 4, the long shot, I wouldn't count out here, but I think that this is Governor Sam, the 3 horse.
And Dylan Davis just won his 20th race at Saratoga, which has exceeded his best ever. So riding well up there for sure.
Yeah.
He's doing so well.
And this is the type of horse he's been winning on too.
Well, and you've got owner Gary Barber as well. And they broke from the 10 hole with 32% to do that. The win percentage does go down, and the horses got to beat winners for the first time. There seems to be a lot of speed in the race. Look at that at the first call.
Yeah, no, I agree. That's what I was seeing. And the reason the 4 kind of caught my attention a little bit. But the 3 has shown the ability to rate too. So, it may not go as hard as the race sim thinks here.
Yeah. So consensus is what? The 3 horse?
I think the 3 horse, maybe a 3-4 exacta.
Well, you're going to get a price in here. There's so many competitive horses in here. You're going to get you'll get 10 to 1 probably on this 4 horse, and maybe it can close in. It's not going to be on the lead. Let's see if you can handle the turf. You can see though the dirt tab on the GSR Plus grid is much higher on the dirt than it is on the turf. So, I would look at that as a negative. I can understand putting a horse like this in this race. It ran good, breaking its maiden. You get excited about that, but turf and dirt races are not the same.
No, correct.
So you could get caught up in those running lines very easily. That's why you need the metrics combined. So for me, I would have to say the 3. The GSR increase is incredible, and the horse won first time out. Like 95% of horses lose when they face winners first time out, and this horse won. So it looks like this horse is actually special. So and it can rate as well. I like that. So expecting a big effort from this one.
All right, Saratoga race 9.
All right, let's find this. Saratoga race number 9.
Union Avenue handicap.
Okay, let's run the race. So, Oldie, what are you seeing in here?
I mean, a wall of horses at the beginning. And then the 1 separates a little bit. But, should be trapped on the rail.
Right.
And then the 4 and the 7 are the ones finishing, and then it has the 7 winning here. I think that the 7's a little bit of a money burner, though. I will say that. I actually kind of like the 4, the second pick here. Though this horse is inconsistent as well. And, he's beaten 74s and then put in 3 clunkers and then beat 68. So, as I look through here, I think the 1 is I think there's too much speed here, other speed here for the 1. So if you're looking for another upset possibility here, the 2 horse for Philip Serpy would be the other direction I might consider.
So I like your 4. Now let me show you why. If you, let's go down the storyline of this horse. So it ran here and won against a 74 group. Today's a 72 at 27%, and then it on 114 it ran and it got third against 5 other horses, and something happened. It went on the shelf, came back, it got bumped at the start in its first race and broke 9th, broke last, and still only lost by 2 1/4 lengths. Then it faced a similar group, was only 8% to win. It was off slow, terrible trip, and you could throw that out. Then comes back against a little bit easier, goes up in win percentage, and wins fairly easily. I think this 4 horse is a big player, and what I do like about it in this situation, is the morning line at 6-5, and the reason is it doesn't look like a horse that should be 6-5, which means that the system thinks this horse should be 6-5, and I like that angle. Whereas sometimes you'll see 6-5, but the horse, you can understand that the system is predicting what the horse will go off at, and so. But in this situation, to me, I think that might be the separator right there, especially when you're looking at a horse that's 6-5 on the odds makers morning line and 3-1 on our morning line. And yeah, this horse has really burned money. All it's done is against a 64 group, it won that race. Since then, it's done nothing but burn money.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
now,
but gets Irad.
Yeah, it was 38% last time out though, and couldn't get home.
It was 38% to win that race and didn't get there. Now, the one thing I will say is when we look at the trip, so if we sort from here and we go, you can see that the 7 can sit. But what I don't like is the 5 and 6 are just as fast. So yeah. Is Irad's going to have to sit back here, and it's not like the 5 and the 6 aren't competitive horses in here. So he'll have to go wide, most likely, and might not get the best trip, which helps the 4 horse that much more, who can save ground on the inside. I like the 4.
I'll point out it's Jose, not Irad too, but Grace uses Jose a lot. So,
hola, Oscar. Buenas noches.
I agree on the 4. I think the 2 has a good shot too here, and the system's not. It has it at 13%, but you see it beat 70s on 217. It's second off the layoff. Should be sharper here. Should sit a similar trip to the 4, and seems to be a more consistent, better breaker than the 4 is.
Right. Ron, to answer your question, there is no 5 points equals a half a length or anything like that. And the reason is that you need to use the metrics in combination of each other. So where you have a horse like the 1 horse, as an example, has the top pace number by a little bit, but what's the SOR, of some of the other horses? Is there more speed in the race? What's the horse's style? There's a lot of factors aside from just a pace number. So you have to use those metrics in combination with each other. It absolutely is subjective, and that's the way it should be. It gives you don't ever have to figure out pace as far as try to calculate it. You just need to, once you know what it is, you have to make a good decision, and that's not enough. You need to know what the win percentage is, the GSR, all that kind of stuff. Is the favorite vulnerable? I think in this situation here, because the 5 and 6 are not just going to stop, that means the 7 might end up wide. It's already burned money. It beat a 64 group, and then it seems to keep on losing. I see another trip like that, Oldie. I think you see that as well. I think that the 7 horse is going to be better served for second or third.
So we're sticking with the 4 here, right?
I think the 4 is going to get a really nice trip and save ground, and I like the fact that it's tactical. Look at the second call; it's only 2 lengths back. That means the jockey is pretty much going to be able to do whatever he wants to do, and the horse has some class within this field. And in some of the races that the horse ran bad, it had excuses. So I think we're going to see Flavian Pratt give this horse a really, really nice ride. I like it. 6-5 on the EE morning line, and this horse likes to win.
Indeed.
Right? I mean, 3 wins and 9 tries with excuses in some of the other races against better horses. Now, if you're facing weaker horses and you have some issues and you keep on losing, I don't like that so much. you're supposed to overcome those problems when you're the better horse. But this horse has been facing better, and in the races it didn't run good, or didn't win. It's because it had some issues against better. So I like the storyboard on this horse. I think we can make a strong case for the 4.
All right, let's get out to the last race on Friday, Monmouth Park, race 7.
Okay, Monmouth Park, race number 7, a non-graded stakes race, the Oceanport Stakes, and let's run this race. A top pace number with the 6. I just sorted by the pace, and it does look like the 6 is going to get the lead. And look, that's a big morning line in here. 7-5 on the EE morning line is pretty low. Top EquinEdge pick. Oh, you know what? I handicapped this race a little bit earlier, guys. I can tell you, I love this horse. I love this horse on tomorrow.
So you're all over Big Everest.
Yeah.
Top square on the pace for sure.
Yeah, I thought Big Everest was a free square. This is a really, really nice horse, and I thought this horse is just going to find a way to get the win, and
Big Everest is a Clement horse, so make sure that
David doesn't choose it.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. And then look at this too, by the way. Do you know another determining factor here for me? Okay, Rendon was on this 7 horse for 1, 2, 3. The last 3 wins, this horse won 4 wins in a row. It has been off of a little bit of a layoff, and Rendon ends up on the 6 horse. There's no way Rendon or the trainer took Rendon off this horse. Rendon chose the 6 horse.
Yeah, and I kind of like the 7 horse a little bit. But and I think the 5's got a decent shot as well. But my concern for the 6 is the presence of the 1. And if that happens, I Chad Brown horse here, really hasn't shown since coming to the U.S. to be that good. Comes back off the shelf here. He is 23% off the shelf though, and there are some really nice turf works here. So maybe I'll take that back, and this 2 horses probably sitting on a big race here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Alfredo thinks the 2 horses, the class, and I can see why he says that. But look, this horse beat a 68 group. It was 41% to do so. A big GSR, and then went in the grade 1 race and was an also ran, and then went in the grade 3 race and didn't really have that much trouble. And that was a much tougher group, and it was 10%. Yeah. Now moves up to, I think the 2 is a player in here, no question about it. But the 6 on an easy lead in the front is no joke. And although I think this is a super competitive race on paper, I think the 6 is going to go gate to wire. The 6 is an allowance horse. Fair. And here in the States, the 2 is an allowance horse as well. That's it. Yeah. Right?
All right.
And here's the thing too, what you have to remember, and what Alfredo's saying, and I'm going to correct you here, is this horse won a grade 3 race by a quarter of a length against 5 other horses as a 2-year-old. This is a 4-year-old now, so that means nothing. Who is the horse now? The horse won an allowance race. He's a competitive horse in this race in this field, a horse in this field, but they're all allowance horses in here.
All right, Alfredo, got it down 3-1 here. Let's get over to Friday, Del Mar race 7.
All right, okay, Friday, Del Mar race 7.
Didn't we covered that already?
No,
Saturday, you mean?
No, we're still on Friday, though. We have plenty of races left on Friday, so that's...
No, this is, Saturday.
So we're on Saturday now?
Del Mar race 8.
Race 7.
Del Mar race 7 on...
Del Mar race 7 is a maiden special weight.
It's race 8, sorry. Typo.
Race 8.
Fix that.
Okay, we got the Del Mar Oaks. This is a grade 1. And the GSR is a 98. Let's run this race. For the 5 horse, I'm going to run based on the pace. And it does look like the 1 horse has a huge pace advantage. I scream, you scream.
We all scream.
Oldie, does this horse a horse you like?
I did not like this horse. I was actually on the 6 horse here. So this horse, there's nothing wrong with its record here or anything like that. It's Barrios, it's D'Amato. I just don't know if it wants the extra furlong. Would be, it barely hung on at a mile.
Which horse? I'm sorry. Which one were you talking about?
The
one horse
The one.
barely hung on at a mile, and now it's going 9 furlongs, and I'm not sure that it will be able to get that distance.
Well, GSR says it will.
I mean,
GSR, but the GSR goes back. The 6 is proven at 9 furlongs. Won a grade 3 at 9 furlongs. Just missed against the 1 at a mile where the GSR was down. It's Frazier, it's Peter Erden. At 5-1, I like this horse a lot better than 8-5 on the 1 horse who I have questions on the distance.
Alfredo likes the 3 Whiskey Decision. Powerful
Whiskey Decision, 9-5 on the morning line. He has done nothing wrong in the last 3 races. Certainly likes the distance. Look, they had this horse on the synthetic in the first couple of races. First one was sprinting. Clearly the horse didn't like that. If you look at the GSR Plus grid, it's all turf. I mean, what a nicely bred horse this is.
Top win percentage as well.
Yeah, this horse looks solid. The race is wide open though, at least on the win percentages. And you have to look at a horse like the 5. It's the EE long shot, who's got equal to the top win percentage and 6-1 in the EE morning line, guys. So this is a strong contender. I mean, in the grade 2 here. Did it have issues? 5 wide, nothing, but it only lost by 2 1/4 lengths. In the last race, this horse was 16% to win. It lost by 4 lengths, but it was 8 wide in the stretch. And who knows what the rail was at, right? So, I mean, this horse was finishing. It just closes. It's reliable to close every single time. The only time it didn't was it was in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile. And it's still only lost by 2 3/4 lengths. This is such a good horse. I mean, if I in a tournament, if this horse in the tournament, let's see here. No, unfortunately, I would be using the 5. I think the 5 is a major player in here.
What's up, Razor? Welcome.
What's up, Razor?
Rodney, Del Mar speed favoring right now since the meet started. Horses on the lead. Kiss it goodbye. Mike Saletta, D'Amato needs to step it up. Hasn't fared well. And Alfredo with 2 horse Ice Cream, You Scream, Whiskey Decision, Midoro.
I agree too with Oldie, with the 1 horse. I'm not sure at this level if the 1 horse wants to go this distance. Look, it's stretched out, but look, it did go from an optional claiming. Look, this horse broke its maiden. It's done she has done everything asked of her, no question. Now she's facing tougher. Win percentage is going down a little bit. GSR stays the same, but she's got to go 9 furlongs. But there's some really nice horses in here. Like the 5 horse is incredibly bred, and this horse has earned $600,000. Look, this horse is 12-1 in the odds makers morning line, earned $600,000 in 10 races. I mean, this is a nice horse. I agree with Alfredo too, though. I think that this is going to be your favorite most likely, and what a well-bred horse this is. And it won a non-graded stakes race, but it did it easy. Like, it's just doing everything easy. This is clearly a very, very nice horse. And what happened in the first race? Chased, 6.5 on the synthetic, and but it's done nothing. It's done everything right since.
Yeah, it's not a sprinter.
No, but and you can see there's a wall of them at the finish, at least on the race simulator. But no, I clearly not seeing the 8. Circle of Trust. No way this horse It's just not classy enough. The 4-horse. This is an interesting long shot. It's Phil D'Amato, second off the layoff. It barely lost the San Clemente. That was a pretty weak field. This is not a strong Grade 1 field, to be honest with you. Usually you can see in the 80s numbers. So it's not that strong. The 4 is interesting as if you're playing in a tournament, you never know. But if I'm playing in a tournament, I'm 100% using the 5-horse. The 3 is going to go off as your favorite, I think. The 3 and the 1. I agree, though. I think the 1 stops, Oldie. I agree with you. And then the is not the worst looking long shot in the world, but maybe like for 3rd or 4th in your exotics, it'll probably go off at 50-1 and could get 4th. But I'll get rid of that. I mean, here on at least look like your main contenders. For me, I think the main contenders. For me, it would be 3 and 5.
And for me, I don't think the 5's all that good. It would be 3 and 6 here, and I like the price better on the 6. If they're both going to, if it looks sort of like this finish here, I think the 6 is a better horse. They're having won a Grade 3 at 9 furlongs than the 5.
Okay. All right. We've got a mixed decision here on Saturday, Del Mar race 8. Let's get over to Saratoga race 9 on Saturday.
Saratoga race number 9. We've got race number 9 and 10. So Grade 2 and a Grade 1. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Mm-hmm. Okay. So I'm going to get rid of these 50-1 shots here. And then go ahead and run the race. Let's see here. Let's see here. All right.
Let's bring the hold on. Let's bring the
Yeah, Oldie's been on fire of late. You're all the talk, Oldie.
That's scary. All right. So you have the 2 the long shot and the top pick that it has battling it out on the lead a little bit.
This is the toughest race we've covered so far. I know the 7 horse is 43%, and probably the horse to beat. But I mean, this looks like a wide open race to me.
Yeah, no, I agree. And again, so the 7 horse nearly won a Grade 1 at 9.5 furlongs. This is shortening up a bit. It did show that it could win at a mile as well. The 1 horse who's the long shot, same trainer, but is a maiden, coming out of a maiden race.
Yeah.
And, does pick up Jose, though, so don't just ignore that horse. I kind of like the 10 dynamic pricing. I think it needs pace.
Right.
And I think it could get it here.
What's up, Howard? Real quickly, Rodney, on She Feels Pretty in the Grade 1, the system had the horse at 29% win, and she lost by 3/4 of a length in that Grade 1. This is a bit easier field, and she's a higher win percentage. The GSR is about the same. I like her shortening up. She's, I feel like the 7 horse might be like an Oldie. I think she might be an 8 furlong specialist. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think a mile might be her distance, but she did almost win the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies. Lost by less than half a length.
At a mile.
At a mile, yes. And then the next loss came at, it's almost a carbon copy of that race in terms of just couldn't get home in either of those Grade 1s. Does get a little easier here.
She's going to run. I mean, she is going to run. There's no question. If she doesn't get into trouble, then she's going to be in the money. I don't think that's in question. If this is a mile, to me, she should be winning the 5. And by the way, it's worth noting that Johnny Velasquez, who's been the jockey aboard the last 3 races, And Johnny's aboard, and Johnny is riding unbelievable right now. He's riding really good.
I will say that, Chuck Brower, our man on the sea at Saratoga, will tell you that on the inner turf, speed, it can be deadly on the inner turf. So one thing to look at there in terms of what the pace scenario is going to be.
Yeah.
And again, I'm going to continue to argue this because the numbers say otherwise. And it's almost 43% closers in the last year, because you asked me to look.
Yeah, well,
last time at the numbers.
I'm not worried about the last year, Oldie. I'm worried about the last 4 weeks.
Well, I'm just telling you, you keep moving the ball there, but the numbers clearly say that speed is not the way to go on the inner turf there. And we continue to have this argument every week.
Yeah,
but
speed continues to win.
The data is the data, and speed is not winning there.
I'm not going back a year, buddy. I'm going back 4 weeks. And speed.
You asked me to look back at the last year. Well. This year, I will tell you the 11, Beautiful Love. Very rarely do you get 4-1 or higher on a Appleby horse.
No Buick.
No Buick, no Pratt either.
Exactly.
So, yeah,
chuck them out.
I'm just pointing out that this horse is here. It's not a horse I necessarily like, especially not from the 11 post. And what I will say, and you'll remember this when we ran those numbers, guys, anything wider than the 8 post is very tough on the inner. So I would blow away.
Well, this race isn't on the inner anyways. So what are we talking about?
Yeah, it is.
Oh, it is. It is on the inner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. You get a big run up to the first turn on the inner turf. So getting position early before you hit that first turn and having speed place very, very key, despite what 9 years of data will tell you.
So Spaladay, the 5 horse, you guys, I'm not really a fan of this horse in this race. This is a big step up. I think this horse has run good, but the win percentage drops from 30% down to 10%. The GSR doesn't go up. This is a much tougher competition here than what this horse has been facing.
Yeah, I don't hate Spaladay here. I think if I had to take another horse from this group, and I wanted a closer, and being that I have to throw dynamic pricing out because it's too wide, Spaladay is not the worst option here.
Yeah,
that's not a ringing endorsement, but I don't like Deep Satin. I don't think Deep Satin, who's going to be is the least cheap of the speed here, is going to be a factor.
I'll be right back.
Grayosh, I think, is the other one that we at least have to talk about. The other Chet Brown, but the GSR is not that good. It does keep Pratt though, so Grayosh might sit a better trip here. Hasn't really shown much above the maiden level though, and that's why I end up settling more towards the 5. I think it's the 5 or the 7 here.
I am on the 1, the long shot. Sit right off the pace, sit and pounce and go.
Won't finish in the money.
Oh, and you're going, who's your top pick? Let me mark that down.
Well, I don't think it's fair if I just take chalk, so I'm not going to say the 7. I'll say the 5.
The 5. Let's see. We're at Saratoga race 9. Saratoga race 9. Oldie is going with the 5. I am going with the 1. All right. Let's move on, Oldie. Race 9. We're going to go to race 10. So we got a double opportunity here.
Yep. And let's run the race first, but I love the 2 here. The long
he
shot.
loves the long shot.
25-point pace advantage, big GSR. I don't think we'll. I think we'll get the 10 furlongs. I think Candide and Power Squeeze are going to be too far back.
Well, if Torpedo Anna was entered in this race, we probably wouldn't even cover it.
Right.
Because it would be a walkover. But we do have a competitive field here. Alfredo is agreeing with you. The speed of Chantilus is correct.
Yeah, and so won the Indiana Oaks, grade 3 on the dirt. Had mostly been running on the turf and had been going back and forth between turf and dirt for Mark and his Glat. And we have Dettori aboard here. If there was other speed somewhere here, it would be tough, but I just don't think Miss Justify is that quick. And, the GSR is dropping a lot there. And then, you look at Intricate, that this horse just seems to be burning money and doesn't seem to be the same horse as a 3-year-old as it was as a 2-year-old. And then I mentioned Power Squeeze, who I think is going to be too far back, even if the horse breaks like it did in the Delaware Oaks. And then Candide, same situation.
Howard saying he was super impressed with number 6 Miss Justify last time out. Thoughts there?
Yeah, I mean, I just don't think that 10 furlongs is what this horse wants to do. I think it was pretty impressive too, going a 1-turn mile. But that the GSR also says that's what that horse wants to do.
It's very tough to go from a non-graded stakes race to a grade 1. It's Pletcher. I think the horse is going to have to really improve. And I feel like we've looked at this horse and we kind of know who this horse is already. And the GSR drops 11 points. So I would try to beat a horse like this, knowing that it certainly can win. It's, on the race simulator, it's only a length and 3/4 behind. But I think there's a lot of better options in this race. I would try to beat Candide. Candide is amazing. She's so talented. I bet her in the Breeders' Cup Filly Juvenile. And I was playing in the BCBC, and she broke my heart. She broke last from the rail and lost by 3/4 of a length. And I had her just huge. But she doesn't change leads. I know she has some sort of foot or ankle issue that flares up from time to time. She ran a good race, but there was only 3 other horses in that race last time out. I think this is a great opportunity to get a price on the horse you want because people are going to bet Candide.
Yeah, and I agree with you, Scotty. I have foot and ankle problems from time to time myself.
Yeah, it hurts you, right?
So, Scotty, while you were gone, my top pick here is Chantilus, the 2 horse, the long shot with the 25-point pace advantage and the 87 GSR. I think this horse will get the distance. I think the pace advantage might be too much for Candide and Power Squeeze to overcome.
Yeah. I could see that. And this horse is, let's see here. I'll tell you what I like about it. And people overbet these 2-year-olds that run good earlier in the year. But this horse actually started running in July of last year, right, over at Del Mar. And so I like this because this horse has gone slow. And to come back and win in a grade 3 off the layoff is just really an amazing feat. And the horse has speed and looks like this horse does have some class as well. The dirt tab is great. 10 furlongs, the longer the better for this horse. I think that 2 carries them a long way. And then if you look at the next closest speed, it's the 6 horse Miss Justify, who I don't think is going to be that close to the pace. And if Pratt rides this horse like he did last time, he's going to take this horse back, which means the 2 is going to have an even easier lead. Then when you get down, then it's the 8 horse who's got a 52 pace. You see what I'm saying? Like now you're just relying. Now the close. I followed Power Squeeze for a long time. Power Squeeze is the real deal. This horse just does nothing but show up every single time. I would try to beat Candy. For me, I'm with you. Oldie, for me, I would take the 2 over the 3.
Yeah, and I see what Howard's saying on the 4 as well. It's just a big step up in class on just baking.
All right, we're settling with the 2-horse in the 10th at Saratoga on Saturday. Let's move over to Gulfstream Park.
Real quick, Chris, on that note on the 4, there's a couple of things that to me are glaring negative. Besides, Chris Landeros, against some of these top jockeys, but the horse is going from a 66 SOR to an 80 SOR, 22% win to 4% win. And it only faced 4 other horses last time out. I cannot take a horse like that in a field like this. This is a good field.
And we've also seen how difficult it is at 1.25 miles to come from that far back.
Yeah.
It is. You got to be close to 2 turns on the dirt at Saratoga for sure. We know that in and out. So, Gulfstream Park, race 10.
All right, Gulfstream Park, race number 10. Non-graded stakes, the sheer drama handicap. That's race number 10 on Saturday. Fillies and mares 3 and up. And Oldie's running the race. What's up, Eric?
Boom to you, Eric. All right, so Scotty, for me, I was on the 4-horse Beth Stream here.
Let's see here. 2 to 1.
Lots of Victor and his Barbosa here.
So 4 straight wins at similar levels. Really, it looks like Barbosa has really found these non-graded stakes races for this horse. And the horse has been excelling, won 8 races in 15 tries. You got to love horses that like to win. GSR does drop. Win percentage drops, facing similar. 8 wins in 15 tries speaks for itself. I will say this. I don't think it's going to be that easy. If you want a long shot, why not a horse like the 2-horse for Safi Joseph and Reyes? I mean, this horse been facing better, and possibility this horse could outrun those odds. I think this is a wide open race on paper. You know what you want to look for? Look for horses like the 5-horse, the EquinEdge long shot. Now, I'll tell you what I mean. This horse has 7 wins in 16 tries, which means this horse has lost its last 4 races and had trouble in all 4 of those races. So take 4. That means that this horse in 12 races had 7 wins, 3 seconds, and 3/3 until the last 4 races. Well, take away the 3/3. But I mean, this horse likes to win. And look at the last race. Hit gate 4 wide, up for the show from the inside. The race before that, 3 path and 7 path, moved in between horses, broke second last. And then the race before that had the 8 path. I mean, this horse has had nothing but trouble. I'm just saying, like, this horse can put this together second up off the layoff and is 18% and 3 to 1 in the EquinEdge morning line and the EquinEdge long shot. There's a lot pointing towards this 5, Mary, quite contrary.
Alfredo doesn't like it. Says the horse is not the same.
I agree with Alfredo that this horse is not the same horse that it was in 2023, and that there were trouble lines in those races too, and it was able to overcome those. And since it left that barn, it has 1 win in about 10 tries. So for me, it's the type of horse, and granted, it's been running against good horses, but it's the type of horse that doesn't have to win here and probably won't. I mean, the handicap race that the 4 and the 5 were both in, the 5 was the 2 was about 2 to 1 second choice there, and didn't really run at all there. And Keep Saez, for me, it is second off the layoff, so that's the positive.
Yeah. It looks like just a wide open race, even on the race simulator, right? I actually have a note on the 2-horse. What does it say? It's an old note. That she's a trier, that she tries, but I don't know. She's, she's not the worst looking long shot in the world, the 2-horse. I don't know. This is a tough race, guys. I'm struggling with this race. I think for me, I'm going to stick with the 5.
Not
I think
the other Staffy horse here either. The 8 horse.
Which one's that? The 8?
The 8, yeah.
Bluefield. I mean, the thing I don't like about it is it's going. I would try to beat a horse like this. It's only 14. It's going from a 70 SOR to a 74, so meaning it's facing tougher. It's dropping from 32% win down to 14% win, and the GSR is going from 61 down to 54. All the direction you don't want to see. So for me, I would pass on this horse.
Thanks for stopping by, Howard. So Oldie and I are on the 4. Scotty's on the 5 here. Let's move on to Woodbine on Saturday. We've got 6 stakes prices to talk about. So let's start with race 6, Oldie.
Hold on one sec.
Oh, sorry. Yes, race 6.
Yeah, race 6.
Woodbine race 6. All right, so let's run this race. I already threw out the horses I didn't think had a chance here. I think Mensa, the 5 horse, is probably going to be pretty tough here. But you got to pay attention when you see 31% on a 10-1 morning line on the 7 here.
31%. So when you look at the 7 horse, it's 6-1 in the E morning line, 31% to win. Dream on.
We sucked Howard back in. He's got to stay.
Oh, good. It's always good to have Howard.
He loves the 2 test score here. Definitely was on my list of horses to watch out for here as a maiden, but working really well for Graham in his motion here. And, Mensa's done nothing wrong, but, does have a big GSR drop, but it's still a very good GSR at 72. In this field, it's still the second best GSR.
I got to switch my hat for this one. I'm going with the 5 Mensa. I got Resolute Racing here. They've got the 5. I like it. That's who I'm going with.
Scotty, thoughts?
Well, I'm kind of liking the 4 a little bit. This horse wanted turf to begin with. They ran the horse on the synthetic first time out. It had a 53 GSR. I wish I would have seen this. If I would have seen this, they go from a 53 GSR on the synthetic and they put the horse on turf and goes up 22 points, goes off at 22-1. I'd have been all over that horse.
Howard with a good point here. Test score comes out of a very live race and is one of a few horses that can pass horses, at least on paper.
Agreed, but I also think we have to talk a little bit about the 9 for Ravelli coming out of the Ward barn to Ravelli with some big works, but does lose some GSR here. And, I think the 9's going to be up on that pace with the 5 and the 7 here.
Yeah, and he's sending Cohen up there too, who he's riding a lot these days.
And, Ravelli is pretty hot right now. And these turf sprinters are really his specialty. And Cohen and Ravelli are 31% together.
Yep.
But, again, the GSR goes down. I kind of favor Dream On here as I talk it out, can rate a little bit.
That was a weak field, to be fair. Yeah. That was a weak field that horse faced over at Ellis Park.
Yeah, but the system might be telling us something there with that horse at 31%.
Yeah.
So,
All right, kind of a mixed bag here for us, folks. We do have Woodbine Race 7 up next, another stakes race, a familiar horse here to a lot of us. I know Howard and Paul and Pete talked about this as well. Patches O'Houlihan, and when you hear that announced by Michael Geller in that accent, it just sounds freaking good.
all I have to say about this race, Chris, is if you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball.
That's correct. And if you've seen the movie Dodgeball, you'll get the reference. Patches O'Houlihan here. If I'm correct, I think Howard liked the 6 here. I'm not sure. I don't remember. It's been a minute.
Yeah, for me, these were the dangers. I don't know whether Ironstone is going to stay in this race or go in race 8. And you see, I have Ironstone listed as a contender in both races. But for me, I think that Patches is too classy for this group.
Patches gets the lead here. Going to be tough. Can sit off of it. I think at this distance, it has to get the lead and go.
Could
And
be.
by the way, weather going to be looking good. It's and Saratoga on Saturday. The HHH crew, Mike is saying, was on the 8 at Woodbine Race 7. Mike, we do not have an 8.
Yeah, definitely no 8 there. But you know, the race sim has it as a wall of horses. I personally like the 3. I think the 3 wins this race. But we'll see. You know, Scotty, what do you think?
I like Play Me a Tune. I just really like the way this horse came back and beat Winners first time out.
Mm-hmm.
Does drop in win percentage, but the 2
Yeah,
horses.
this is the one that Howard and crew talked about. They like the exact same things you did. Come back, catch the 3, has done nothing wrong. Kimura going up there and trying to get the money on that 6.
I really can't get down with the 2 horse, to be honest with you. I know it's got a good win percentage, but look at the last 4 races, you guys. 24%, 28%, 19, 21, and just keeps on losing. There's just something about this horse. And that was a grade 2 event last time out. This is a grade 3. It's a big step up. I don't normally like horses like this. I mean, this is a big step up, but just the way that horse did it. But when you're trying to find a price horse, you got to, first of all, see if the horse is going to get the trip based on the pace and based on the post position.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay. So now if I take away the 2 horse because I don't love that horse, and then I look at the 3 horse and I'm like, you know, this horse really needs the lead for its best, and it draws inside, and the 7's going to be pressing the hell out of the 3. And so now I throw out the 7 and I throw out the 3, and then who's the logical horse? It's going to be, you know, believe it or not, even Border Town, the 4 horse, but the 4 style usually is to be near the lead, but this horse can rate some too, but it's stuck at the optional claiming until last time out, and it's passing conditions now. But I also, the other factor for me besides the 6 horse being the EquinEdge second pick is how the heck is this horse 8-5 on the EquinEdge morning line?
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with 6.
All right. Again, mixed bag, Woodbine Race 7. Looking forward, going to Woodbine Race 8 on Saturday. Oldie, I think you've got that one narrowed down. I'll be right back with you guys in a minute.
Yeah, and I'm against the 4-5 favorite, Filo de Arena here.
Why?
You're getting a big GSR drop. There is some other speed in the 6 and the 2.
You usually don't see a horse like this run so good that's got such low GSRs, especially 2 turns on the dirt or on the turf. I mean, I I can't. When they're talking about 2 turns on the turf, I just cannot use a horse like even the 8 horse for that matter. Like it's all it does is keep on winning. 8 wins in 16 tries in graded races. It's crazy. I mean, but
but it does have a habit of breaking slow too.
yeah, it's
You know,
not a great breaker, and it definitely runs. It seems like its best races are on or near the lead. And let's see here. It's going to get the lead. It is going to get the lead, and that could make this horse tough. But yeah, I mean, look, it's 4-5 on the odds makers morning line. I can just tell you, based on what I know about the GSRs, this is a horse with GSRs in the 50s and 60s. I can tell you as a whole, horses in this category will win graded races. It's not even 3% of the time. It's so low. So for me and what I know, I have to try to beat a horse like this. It's an 8-year-old gelding. There's got to be an up and comer, right? Tell me this. No, it's not the 6 horse. I mean, this horse keeps on, running competitively in these kind of races. I don't. Who is it, Oldie?
I agree with Alfredo. So I was on the 1 Cruden Bay here.
Let's see here. Cruden Bay.
Slight GSR.
Yeah, look at that. Been in the money, like 7 wins and 9 second-place finishes, and won a Grade 2 race last time out, and that was pretty impressive. Because that optional claiming was only a 68. This is not the look at this horse's GSRs are only in the lower 60s. Jeez.
Yeah. I mean, the only horse with a big GSR here is the 6.
We are talking about Woodbine races too, where the breeding isn't as good. So,
and this horse at the 6 did win at a mile in a Grade 2 last year, is the defending champion of this race. So don't rule the 6 out necessarily, and look, this 8th place effort is a little better than it looks because it was only to talk about a wall of a finish. Finished 8th, but was only 0.75 lengths behind, was 3/4 of a length behind in 8th place. So, and just missed against the 1 last time out. And maybe the added distance here helps the 6. The GSR says it will against the 1.
I think the 1 has everything going for it. Cruden Bay likes to, this horse is going to finish, and in a group like this, none of them look all that great. Right. You've got, the 6 horses is an Irish bred, and the 1 horse is an Ontario bred, so it's Canadian bred. You've got the Kentucky bred and the 4 horse, who's 9-2 on the EE morning line. This is a really tough race, like super wide open. You know what I like to do in races like this is I like to try to find a horse that is got a higher EE or higher morning line and has a low EE morning line. Like, especially again, if I think the favorites are vulnerable. And when that horse would be the 4 horse. And it just on paper, no, it doesn't look, but it's Mark Cassie and Patrick Husbands. And the horse did not break good in its last race, was wide, and comes back and wins. I don't know. I probably would take a flyer on a horse like the 4 horse, who you're going to get some odds on. I'm going to go with the 4.
All right. I kind of like the 8 here. I know it's the chalk. I like the pace advantage here. I know the GSR is going down. I see your point on the 4. I also see Oldie's point on the 1. So contentious group. There are different ways to go here between those top 3. But let's get over to Woodbine race 10, another stakes race.
Alfredo hates my horses.
Yeah, he does. That's a constant theme, right?
It's a constant theme. Yeah, I pay no mind to him.
Yeah.
Okay. It appears to be another really, really tough race, but I think Bullet, the 6-5 favorite, probably going to be the horse to beat. That's what it looks like to me. I think that this horse will find a way to get this race won with Patrick Husbands.
I'm going to disagree with you. I like a price here. I think She's a Funky Drummer is the speed of the speed here. I think the pace number is a little low. And because of the slow break last time out, and it's only run twice, is a big GSR drop, but is working like a monster. I think that the 8 might just be quicker than these horses here.
The GSR drop is 20 points.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on the 2? Will Rain.
I think it's tough at 6.5 furlongs to come from that far back, unless there's more speed than we're anticipating. And we're showing a big pace number on the 2 too, so maybe I'm wrong.
Yep, and there, Save the Clock Tower, you are right. There is a guaranteed payout sequence races 6 to 10 at Woodbine on Saturday.
I think a lot of this race is going to be which one of these horses gets the lead.
Yeah, Alfredo's on the 7. He saw her at Gulfstream Park. She is a champ.
Well, if you have a pace breakdown, I did think the 13 has a little bit of a look. I thought I shouldn't have cleared that stuff out there, but I thought as a long shot, you could do worse than, let's see if I can find the horse anymore. I can't, so let me just leave it at that, though. But I think there are some prices potentially in this race.
Nah, 7's gone. 7's too good. I don't even need to look at it anymore. 7's going to win this race. Unless it gets a bad trip. It's 6 to 5 on the morning line. It's 32%. And the 2 horse on the inside is a maiden, and it broke bad first time out. It was 6 wide. It's gonna need to get a really good trip, and there's freaking 12 horses in this race. The 7 horse is tactical in this field, and the 7 horse is the way it broke last time out. It's just winning so easily. The GSR went down last time out, and the horse won easier. It wants turf. If you look at the GSR Plus grid, it's a 74, and its top distance is 6.5. This horse wants to go 6 furlongs, 6.5, and it's got even the longer distances aren't bad. This is a really nicely bred war front filly, and she's consistent. When you have fillies like this that are consistent like this, they're not always like that. Some of the fillies are head cases, especially 2-year-olds. She looks like she's got her crap together. She's mature for her age. There might be some horses that are going to be good in the future, but the 7 horse is the best horse right now.
Scotty, talk to us about the 12. Warming.
I mean, the horse broke from the outside post last time out and won the race, was 4%, goes up a little bit. It was an okay race. It's wide now, and the horse is not fast. And so in that situation, you're either going to have to check back, and you're going to lose a lot of ground no matter what, even at 6.5 furlongs. I think that, the 12 is going to close. I think the 12 looks like a decent horse. I don't think it's the same caliber as Bullet. I mean, the Bullet just beat a non-graded stakes race for fun last time out.
Well, I know Harris Orbach likes that horse tomorrow. His mother bred that horse. They'll be rooting for that one for sure.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, Gainesway bred this horse.
Yeah.
I'm on the 7 horse Bullet. I think this horse is a single.
All right, let's get to the King's Plate, race 11.
It's the battle of the Cassies. Your top 2 picks. So Essex Serpent, the pace of the pace for Cassie here, gets a little bit of a GSR jump going to 10 furlongs. And then my boy Prince, who's done nothing wrong, won the plate trial, won 3 in a row, has a 9 furlong win, but is taking a big GSR drop here from 9 furlongs to 10 furlongs. But it looks like those two horses are the class of the class here. There did not seem to be a lot in this race to me. Thoughts, Scotty?
My computer froze on me. I'm so sorry. Let me see here. Let's see here.
And I think the 4's got a little bit of a look as well.
Okay, I'm back up. All right, I'm looking now. So they're going 10 furlongs here on the synthetic?
Yep.
I mean, 7 seems to dominate here, right?
Yep.
And it's done nothing wrong the last 3 races. It even had trouble. It had trouble last time out. It looks like big trouble, and it still won easily. The win percentage drops. It's facing similar. The GSR does drop to a 69. The last time the horse faced was a 69 GSR. It was against a tougher group and had issues. So I'm going to forgive that one. I think the 7 horse, from what I can see here, the 7 horse looks tough. The 3 horse is a horse to watch, Essex Serpent. And this horse won a grade 3 last time out. Really not done much wrong. Had an awkward start, 2 back, and did well. I think the 2 favorites, I mean, what else is there to look at? I think it's those 2 horses. Although the EquinEdge long shot is 7-2 on the EE morning line. That's pretty, there's some value there. But I still don't think the horse is good enough to beat the 7 or the 3.
Yeah, so the 4 is a filly facing the boys and nearly won the Woodbine Oaks. But, I think is a slight cut below. I also thought of the 1% horses or the lower percentage horses that the 12 and the 13 had a little bit of a look, especially the 12, who I thought had some trouble. The last 2 times out was 8 wide in the plate trial and was forced out at the break on 6/9/24 in that race. So, if this horse can get a clean trip, I thought this horse could get up for a piece or could outrun its odds on the 12.
The 3 could get overbet here. Look, the win percentage is going up to 49%. The GSR goes up a little bit, no doubt about it. It beats 6 other horses in the grade 3. I doubt that was a very tough field. The simulator has the 7 horse winning for fun, and it has 6 wins and 10 tries with 2 seconds and a third. And for me, my pick is the 7 hands down over the 3 or 4.
I'm with you, Scotty. Oldie, you with the 7?
I'm going to go with the 3, just to be a contrarian here. I think my boy Prince is going to be 1-5. I think you're going to get better than 2-1. I think you'll get closer to that 4-1 on Essex Serpent.
All right, let's get over to Monmouth Park. Will be our last one for Saturday. That'll be race 9.
Monmouth Park, race number 9.
No, it's actually, don't forget, you actually didn't have this on the sheet, but Monmouth Park race 8 is
race 8 is a stakes race as well. Yep.
And features my former best bet of the day that didn't win, Ever So Mischievous. But you have Suspendador, who is 50%.
What happened to the 4 horse last time out, Oldie, do you think? I mean, it didn't run.
It didn't run. I mean, it broke like it normally did.
And, it broke on top.
And just, normally it likes to sit 3rd or 4th and just didn't have any kick. It was a slightly tougher group than it beat last time, the previous time out.
Yeah.
It does go to 2 turns.
Yeah.
Which, and the GSR says it wants 2 turns here. So there is that. I just have questions about why It wasn't like it was first off the layoff. I have questions about why it didn't have any kick at the end there.
Yeah. It's 6-5 on the E morning line, and it's fast. I think the horse gets a better setup this time. But the six is pretty fast as well, and it's the top win percentage. What do you make of the 6 horse for Mandela?
I don't
can
see
make a
why.
hat. I can make a brooch. I can make a paper pterodactyl.
But the 6, looking at this horse, I mean, it almost won the big cap, and but this horse seems to almost win or be around that. I think it may want longer because that San Antonio effort at 8.5 wasn't that good.
The
So
6
for me,
seems to need the lead. I mean, the 6 is run good. No doubt. I mean, it was 57% to win the Gold Cup last time out over at Santa Anita, and it was pressed. It needs the lead. This horse is sending. Mike Smith is sending this horse. I have no doubt about that. And the 4 horse, the issue with the 4 is it's on the inside, and it's probably going to send. But I mean, this horse can rate a little bit, but not a lot. And so the point being is these 2 horses go. Who are the horses that come from behind?
The 2, Katie Davis.
I think it's the 2 can close, no doubt about it, instant coffee. But it's got to be the 5. I think the top EquinEdge pick is the horse.
Yeah, I mean, the trainer change was a concern for me there on instant coffee. I kind of like the 5 a bit, and it's very rarely will you hear me say that about any Antonio Sano horse. But the 5 can rate a little bit. Has won a couple grade 3s. It likes the 8.5 distance. Shows up. Doesn't always win, but shows up. I think the 5 might sit a trip right behind those 2 and pounce here.
Yeah, I mean, it seems to sit a nice trip. But, obviously Sano's win percentage throws you off a little bit, and it's even worse off the layoff. It's 2% first race back, so don't love that. Paco does jump aboard. It certainly sits a really nice trip.
And remember, Paco at Monmouth is different than Paco at Gulfstream too.
Yeah. I'm having I can't really get down with the 2 horse. I don't think it's got 4 straight layoff lines. It's a hard one to get down with. Trainer change.
I like the arrow up there at the end. It's the only one that has that. Kind of a mixed bag here for us, guys. So
yeah, it's a tough one. Like we could see the 4 and the 6, just those 2 horses dueling all the way. I'm not going to be surprised if that happens.
Yep. All right, Obi, take us to race 9.
6 is sending though. This is, even though it's a short field, this is a very, very tough race.
It is.
Yes.
Right. We have a compact field here. A lot of different things can develop pace-wise, which is really going to, more likely affect the outcome.
Yeah. What do you make of the distance, Oldie? This is 8.5 furlongs. For this horse. I think I like that distance for the 4 horse.
Yeah, I think the 4 and the 5 both will appreciate that distance. I think it's too short for the 6. I think the 6 wants longer.
Yeah, I mean, just in the GSR, if you look at the 6 horse at 64 and you look at the GSR for the 4 horse,
I'm going to go 4-5 here.
I'm going to go 4-5 as well. I'm with you.
I'm sticking with Katie on the 2.
All right.
Monmouth, race 9. On the turf, 5.5 furlongs. A dash, as David Harrison would call it.
Yes, it is a dash.
Wow.
Are there any Clement horses in here?
I'm sure there are. Let's look. Yep, there we go. The 7.
There we go.
But I kind of like the 8 here for Michelle and Nevin. Dancing Buck. E top pick, 10%, 4-1. Has been in against some of the best turf horses in the country. Was in against Cogburn in that June 8th race. Is a horse that I know David has liked in the past as a hard-knocking New York type. I'm not enthralled with the jockey situation here, but I think you're going to get a very nice effort from this horse, and I think this horse has a big shot here.
I'm on the 5 horse, guys. This horse is just so consistent. 11 wins in 28 races, 3-2 E morning line, and it's 31% to win. The GSR stays the same. Look at the only poor performance this horse has had in the last 5 races is 3 back, and it reared at the start. That's it. And this horse is a really good breaker. It can rate a little bit as well. And I think the 5 horse is just going to take them gate to wire. It will get some pressure. It's going to have to send. It's going to have to break good. But if it does, if this horse breaks on top, you're not going to beat the horse. I think the 5 can be a single. I do.
I'm with you on the 5, Scotty.
What's that?
I'm with you on the 5.
It looks really good. Like the 8 horse is decent, no doubt about it. It has 7 wins. I always look for horses that like to win. Incredible. The 5 horses won 11 races in 28 tries. I mean, that's pretty amazing.
Yep.
And the 5 horse can rate as well. The problem, I will say this, is that unfortunately for the 5 horse, the speed for this horse is the 8 horse on the outside of it. That's no bueno. So the 5 has to break. So the 5 is going to have to break on top and then go hard the entire way. The problem is if it doesn't break good, now you're looking at an absolute grab bag, and you might want to play that race that way, because if you look and you go to the race simulator, Oldie, if you go to that, look at the race. Everybody except for the 6 horses within a length and a half of each other.
Mm-hmm. Very close. And the majority of the horses also have the blue arrow upwards, except for the 5.
Well, and I think the 2 is the better of the 2 Durante horses, to be honest, between the 5 and the 2. I think they're both nice horses, but I think the 2's a better horse.
The 2's phenomenal, guys. Look, the 2 is always like 18%, 12, 19. One time it was 34%. Look at it. It's second, first, third by a half a length, first. I mean, this 2 closes every single time. Off the layoff, Duarte's 17%. Like, yeah, I mean, the 2 horse is a major player in this race, no question.
And, it's keeping the same jockey. The other horse that's worth mentioning, and Chris, I don't know if you feel like this horse needs to, the pace number might have it a little closer than it's actually going to be, because we've watched this horse a bunch of times at Gulfstream at XY speed, 3 in a row at Gulfstream, and is chipping in here for Lerman and gets Paco. This horse, I think, could sit right behind the 5 and the 8, has some tactical speed, and could pounce on these 2.
Scotty, the question of the chat is from Bad Savant. What brand of scotch is that?
Macallan. Macallan 15.
Macallan 15. There you have it. All right.
Yeah.
Let's get over Sunday. Saratoga race 3. We got 2 left. And I will caution everybody, we're going to cap these Saratoga races as if they're on a fast turf course.
So we're going to Sunday now, the 18th?
Yeah. But we're going to cap this as to where these are on a, fast, dry dirt. There could be some weather impact on Sunday. Looks like the weather that was scheduled for Saturday could come in on Sunday. So beware of that. Small field, we're keeping it out of the later sequences here and putting this race in the early pick 5.
And this is coming out of the chute, so.
Yep.
Yeah, but I mean, there's not a lot of horses in the race. I mean, I wouldn't like the 6-horse because of its lack of speed and outside posts, but by the most part, I don't think that shoot's going to matter here.
So again, another blanket finish.
Yeah.
It has the 5 Donegal Surges winning. This horse does burn money though. And, for me, it's probably a horse I want to play against.
I'm with you, Oldie. Irad or no Irad. You have to try to beat this horse. Look at the 2 wins this horse had were against a 60 and a 62 SOR.
Yep.
I mean, but I will say this though. The win percentage does go up. But look, it went up to 20. It had an 86 GSR last time out, going 9 furlongs, 21% win, 72 SOR. So the win percentage goes up, but the GSR goes down 14 points. I mean, there's mixed feelings here. It's going to get overbet. I think this horse is worth trying to beat. It can win, no question, but it's worth trying to get to beat.
Yeah. So, the 4 Makers Candy might be one. Again, the last 3 times out really has burnt some money, but that I think that this horse
it needs a lead. Like this horse runs, and it's not going to get it. 2 and 3 are faster, and the 2's cheap, so the 2's going to stop. That hurts the 4. So get rid of the 2, get rid of the 4. The 3 horse seems to need the lead as well, and it seems cheap. So get rid of the 3. And now you're left with a 1, 5, and 6. I'm liking the 1, Sheriff Bianco.
It's been a long time since it's had a drink. Back in April of 2023. But, Linda does spot her horses well here. And what was the other one you liked here, Scotty?
Well, maybe the 6 horse a little bit, but I don't like that post, and it doesn't have any speed. But you know what? When you're looking at a lot of horses that are going to here's the thing. Sometimes when you see horses closing, it's an optical illusion because you think they're finishing, but they're not. They're just not. The horses up front are slowing down. And you could see that here, which means the 6 horse could run a very good race. Carmouche is having an excellent meet, by the way.
Yeah, Pratt could just go out and steal this thing, too. If he breaks well and gets the lead, he could be gone with the 3.
Do you find it interesting that Carmouche is not on the 1 horse?
Well,
because Linda Rice uses Carmouche all the time.
She does. Yeah. I'm surprised that Lascano isn't on the 1, but
Jose is kind of her. I mean, they're 30% almost 30% in 260 races.
Yeah, but look, Engelhardt and Carmouche are 30%, guys. 30%.
For me, I think you have it narrowed down. The 3 horse does move to Rudy. He's not great first time with horse or off the layoff. So I'm going to throw the 3 out. I think the 4 has a bigger shot than you think here, even though the pace number is not.
Those numbers, the stats on the 3 are too low for my liking. I can't use that horse.
I think this race will be over and done with by the time they clear all the trees on the backstretch at Saratoga. Heading into that turn there, whoever's got the lead is probably going to prevail.
Yeah, agreed.
Well, really, you're not using the 6 horse then, because the 6 horse has a 12 on the pace number.
Correct. 6 is gone for sure. Once they get 4.5 furlongs into this, whoever is on the lead likely is going to be your winner. That's trying to figure it out there. Like I said, once they get past all the trees and bushes and everything else that obscures the race on the backstretch, once they hit into that turn, you'll have a pretty good idea on who the 1 or 2 contenders are.
I would love to make excuses for the 1 horse, you guys. 6 wins in 33 races. Stumbled badly last time out. 3 backs, stumbled bad.
Mm-hmm.
But what happened 2 races ago? And now all of a sudden the horse has to go 8 furlongs. I'm just saying, to me, when I'm looking at this, they're reaching. They're trying to find something somewhere with this horse. And so now I keep coming back to a horse that I want to try to beat. And that's the 5 horse, the Donegal Surges, but it looks like Donegal Surges is probably the horse.
Yeah, if you can get by the 5 price wise, you certainly got options in other places. So last race for Sunday.
I'm on the 5.
I'm going to be on the 4. 4 of 8 at the distance, in the money, 7 of 8 times.
In Pratt We Trust for me, the 3. Mixed bag. We'll go to the 7th, which will be our final race of the night and of the weekend here. Stakes, fillies, 2-year-olds, $150,000 stakes race, 5.5 furlongs on the turf.
It's the Michael Bolton Landing Stakes.
Michael Bolton. I don't know what the Michael Bolton song is, but if we played it, we'd probably get in copyright trouble.
Yes. But, the morning line favorite is a 52 GSR, Scotty.
Yeah, I'm looking at that. My God, but it's a sprint race. That's the thing. Like you can see those horses win. You almost never see them win in two-turn turf races, but in sprint races, sometimes you'll see that.
All right, let me add, it is a 52 GSR from Europe, so we don't necessarily know that GSR is.
Oh, that's fair.
Correct.
Yeah,
but it is a maiden as well.
Yeah, it's a maiden that's been in grade 2 allowance races.
Yeah, and almost won one at Ascot.
No, I mean, come on, it's an unfair advantage. Like, first of all, just so you guys know, we don't get foreign race data. So I'm gonna guess the GSR is incorrect. And this horse been racing in allowance grade 2s, and you can see too, it's showing 31% win. Again, we don't get the data for foreign. The 2 horse is a monster in here. I can promise you that. Monster. Like these are maiden horses, and this 2 horse been racing in grade 2 races. Now, like Brendan Walsh takes over, Flavian Pratt jumps aboard. Guys, single the 2 horse all day long.
I'm with you.
I'm looking real fast to see what my opinion originally was. But I think the Weaver horse here has a shot. The other maiden here, big GSR jump, gets IRAD, is a maiden, and appears to want to sprint.
Tyler jumps away from that horse to ride the 6 horse, who broke 9th. Who broke 9th, by the way, and ended up winning that race. And the win percentage goes up. And this horse has got numbers on turf in really nice in the 84. 5.5 furlongs is the perfect distance for this horse, Lady Orient. Like if the 2 doesn't win, the 6 is winning. I think this is chalky. The EE morning line shows 2 and 6. They're lining up. The EE morning line win percentages are lining up. I'm sure the GSR is off on the 2 horse. Again, we're going to start getting the foreign data probably towards the end of the year, which is going to be amazing. That's what we're shooting for anyways. But I think this is the 2. I think the 2 horse romps in here.
I'm on the 2. Oldie, Scotty's on the 2. Where are you going?
Turf sprint. The speed is kind of cheap here. I'm going to go. I'll go 2-7, but I have a feeling the 7's going to run. So I'm going to go 7 just to be contrary.
Okay. Let me ask you a question. Why does George Weaver put this horse going long first time out and not sprint it, and now the horse is going long?
Well, again, we see trainers do. It's by American Pharoah. Maybe the ownership thought that this was a router and wanted it more positioned for the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies turf or something like that. And, there is no Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies turf sprint. You
don't see that very often, though. You're going to go. You're opening up with the horse at 8.5 furlongs, 2 turns, and all of a sudden it's sprinting. The win percentage does not go up. and it's going from and it loses, and it's going from a 48 SOR to a 72. And oh, by the way, Gap-Leon gets off of 3 horses, including your 7 horse, to ride the 6 horse. No chance.
Yep.
No chance. No.
All right. Well, Irad and Weaver are almost 25%, and I have a feeling that was the call that Weaver would have preferred, rather than Gaff getting the choice of the 3 horses here.
This is between the 2 and the 6.
100% agree, Scotty. 100% agree.
I think the 2 is going to win. I think you're talking about a horse that's been running competitively against grade 2 horses. Forget the numbers because the metrics are off. But just allowance grade 2s at Newmarket and Ascot, and you're coming here and running against horses that just broke their maidens, barely. Come on. No.
All right, so let me offer you one other theory here, one other horse. The 5 horse, the long shot. If the 4, who's the other speed here, and is cheap and doesn't want turf, scratches out. The 5 definitely needs to lead. But, we're all picking horses that don't really have any speed in a turf sprint, which is a dangerous thing to do. The 5 could get the trip here for Carlos David with Sayas aboard, and just go gate to
Only
white.
against a 52 group, it barely hung on, and then it moved up to a 72 group, and it didn't run terrible, but it was only 6 other horses in the race, and they got third by 5.5 on the turf, and the GSR went up. These are way monstrous compared to these, and the horse likely needs the lead, and it's going to be feeling so much pressure early, even from a horse like the 4, who, by the way, has a low GSR and needs the lead. So the 4 is going to pressure the hell out of the 5 horse. This is going to completely set the race up for a horse like the 2 and the 6. Hands down, I can promise you in my pick 5 tournament play, I will use the 2, and I might cover with the 6. That's it. I mean, I don't even think there's the other horses.
That's a wrap on the stakes races. So a couple of programming notes, folks. Tomorrow, 11:30, Road at the NHC with Scotty and David Harrison.
Yeah, 11:30 tomorrow. I saw. Look, David is such a chill dude, right? It's just kind of like fun. It is a long show though. We went 4.5 hours last week, you guys.
Yeah.
But by the way, I want to give a big shout out to obviously you guys, but Alfredo being a part of this, and Justin's been busy with baseball with the kids, but we miss you, Justin. And big shout out to Brad and the team, and Riley and Amy and Anna and just everybody involved, Ryan and the crew, Kathy. Big shout out to Kathy and Ramey. And Malcolm. Hope I didn't miss anybody, but we appreciate Riley. We appreciate all of you guys, and it takes a big team, you guys, to put all this together. Chris, you deserve a lot of it. Chris, I appreciate you very much. I probably never tell you, but all that you do to keep all this going and keep the shows going and send this to Riley to put in. There's a lot behind all this. Please like the show, you guys. Really appreciate it. Hope you do really well in these stakes races and this weekend. Tomorrow morning, the road to the NHC with David and I. So, guys, thank you so much.
Saturday, Scotty, the stretch run will be starting at 1 p.m. Eastern time.
Yep.
Justin and Oldie will be on early. I'm going to hop on at 2. David Harrison is going to hop on around 3. We're going to cover everybody through all the stakes races that we talked about today through race 6. Scotty, Saturday will be my 52nd consecutive stretch run show since last August.
Wow.
52 in a row. And that includes 3 days with you and Justin at the NHC where we did 10 hours a day.
Guys, is it NHC yet? It is. I swear to you, this is why we created the road to the NHC, because the NHC, you guys, you have to join the tour. I'm in 4th right now by about, 1,500 points or something. But it is so much fun to be a part of the NHC and being in Vegas and just everything, the energy. It is so crazy. I remember there's this guy, Bobby. I think it wasn't this past NHC, but the one before that. He's screaming, and it went viral. And he's screaming and he's screaming, go, 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 go. And Anna happened to be right there filming him. Basically all the shots you got of him were from Anna filming him because our booth was right there because we're a sponsor of the NHC. And anyways, I go up to him afterwards. I'm like, you had that horse, right? Are you in the tournament? He's like, no. I put $5 to win on that horse. You're like, that's the story. Like, it was he was such a character. And, man, it's just so much fun. So, and by the way, the road to the NHC, guys, we've had, I want to say 4 or 5 people qualify for the NHC in Vegas in March. It's so cool. It's the neatest thing. It's $50 a year to join, and then you can put some money in your the horseplayers.com and horseturners.com and play in the NHC events. And this is the first time I've ever tried to do well in the tournaments, and I'm right there. I've led for much of the year. And guys, I couldn't do the mythical tournament for my life before, so I'm having the best.
All right, 2 more programming notes. Tomorrow night's 8 p.m. Eastern time. I'm going to put the link in the chat. We will have the Friday night Zoom. We are going to be focusing on Remington Park tomorrow night, opening night of Remington Park. There's a stakes race at the end. I'm going to cover the early, late double, rolling pick threes, my most profitable track last year. Happy to help people out there. Fingers crossed, if all goes well, we will have a stretch run after dark show tomorrow night at 10:15 Eastern, covering the primetime pick 5. So look for that on our YouTube channel. Like, subscribe, hit the bell button. You'll get notified when we go live. And stretch run Saturday, 1 p.m. Parting thoughts, guys?
No, just really great energy in the show. Thanks to everybody for joining in the chat, and we appreciate it. And we just wish all the best for you guys this weekend and kill it, okay?
All right. That is a wrap for us tonight, folks. Have a good one. See you, and may